Hey guys, Dave from Timber Time Outdoors. Today is one of the best days of the year in my opinion. So today we are doing our summer food plots. So behind me we got the seed, we got Max all ready to go, our no-till planter. So stick with us here. We're going to show you how we put in our summer plots. We'll talk about what seeds we do and kind of the theory behind the different plots and what they're intended to do. So thanks for being with us today. Keep it in the timber, everybody.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
All right guys, here's all the seed that we're going to be putting down. Let's kind of talk through it a little bit. So this here is our soybean mix. It'll be fenced, and so you don't necessarily have to buy a bag with a great big buck on it, but supposedly this particular soybean is a little more browse resistant. So anyway, that's what we've been using. It works pretty well. Sticking with that. Obviously we got some corn, really expensive, but works super good. And then for our summer cover crops, we got two options here. We're doing a little experiment between the two. So super cheap buckwheat, and we'll go over the benefits of buckwheat. And here we just have some clover. And it's a mix of chicory and clover, and that's got some different benefits. So experiment between the two, and then we have a screening seed. So it's kind of like a sorghum type of thing. And then here we have a small plot that just gets browsed really bad, and it's in a tough location to get to. So there we're going to do, it's a perennial clover, where this here is an annual clover. So that's our seed. All right, let's take a look at our planter here. This is a 3-point hitch no-till planter. So it's made by Land Pride. Pretty heavy. You could look up the specs on that, but the tractor does lift it, but barely. So anyway, what we've got here is a kind of a slicer. Kind of creates the little bed for the seed. And then right here, it basically comes down here and drops the seed in and plants it. And then right here it rolls over. So you don't need to till the ground at all. Slices a hole, plants it, and then covers it. So it's kind of a three roller process. And it's got two seed boxes. And the two seed boxes are basically for large seed and small seed. And the small seed actually just drops right on the ground. So the small seed comes out here and just, you know, creates a little V for it, drops it right on the ground, and then covers it up. Where the bigger seed actually gets planted down in here in this V, so it goes a little deeper into the ground. So on top of the ground, into the ground. It's just an awesome planter. Here's the model number. So we'll get you some action shots of that. Works really, really well. Let's talk a little bit about the calibration for this no-till drill. The drill comes with a book here that basically gives us all the seed rates that we need, and depending on which box we're using, you've got basically a number that you're going to set the calibration to. So this calibrator here, that's for the large box. On this side, that's for the small box. You can see the numbers there. And then there's a gear ratio, which is also in that chart. So you got different settings for the overall gears. So we're not going to get into how to calibrate these things, but just keep one thing in mind when you use one of these no-till planters is those numbers are a guide. I would have an extra bag of seed, and you know, just be ready to run out and add a little extra, because the number doesn't always work perfectly. All right, annual clover going in the small seed box. Okay guys, we are at our smallest and most remote food plot. And this is the one that's going to get the perennial clover. And the reason that we want perennial clover is this right here. So that patch of dead weeds was in a cage, and so you can see the browsing pressure that happens. Basically dirt, and you know, that was not able to be eaten by the deer. So you can see what happens here. So things like soybeans, or you know, something that's more palatable, has no chance of living on a plot like this. You need something that's quickly going to regenerate, and so that's why we're going to try this perennial clover. Basically plant it and forget it, and maybe give it some chemicals every now and then, but that's the theory behind this plot. So here we go. All right guys, one thing that we forgot to do is we've got to get this drive wheel touching the ground, because that's basically what powers the entire system. So we're going to rotate this and lower that wheel so that it makes contact. It's got to get some good pressure onto the ground. You can see it coming down. All right guys, this is another one of our smaller plots up on a ridge, and we'll talk about what we're going to do here. So on that far side over there, we're going to have some corn to kind of push the deer this way, because our hunting spot is right there. So we kind of want the deer to feed on this side, but we're going to do that annual clover in here as a summer crop, and then we'll come back with brassicas, and then we'll have corn on the far side. All right guys, I'm standing in the third hidey hole spot. We call this one the back plot just because it's mainly in our back 40, and it's in a valley, and it's a pretty special spot. Kind of walk you around here a little bit and show you the no-till. So hopefully you can see this good. Got some dead rye to kind of keep moisture in the ground. You can see the fertilizer and the seeds, and you know, even though it's no-till, that planter kind of tills it up a little bit. Now, granted, this is some sandy soil, but just a fantastic spot back here. Got a great big monumental licking branch right there. We got another one that we made over by the tractor. We don't have the ghillie blind cover on, but there's a ghillie blind right there. And then down in this area, we have another kind of licking branch situation and kind of some tree features. And typically the deer come from the west to come out of that little valley and up and feed in here. All right guys, this is buckwheat. We've tried buckwheat in the past a couple different times with kind of poor results. We're giving it one more try. We got all the chemicals right, and we got things sprayed right. So Last chance to impress us, Buckwheat. Let's do this. All right, guys, time to do the beans. If anybody tells you that beans are not a deer's favorite, they're crazy, because they'll pick a bean over anything. Corn maybe a close second, but soybeans get hit first and are always gone first. That's why we have to use electric fence. It's unbelievable. But anyway, here's our beans. So this is a bean that, you know, it's not like an agriculture bean that grows high, and this one kind of leafs out a lot. And so anyway, it's supposed to be formulated for deer. Who knows? Could be a bunch of marketing hooey. But anyways, this is what it looks like. And so let's pour in another bag and we'll get going. All right, guys, getting pretty dusty out here. Hopefully that rain's gonna show up. I'm about half done with our big field. So this is all soybeans. This is the fenced in soybeans. Hopefully you guys can see those fence posts. We'll put up the electrification maybe in a week or two, maybe even at the end of the week, but you can kind of see what no-till looks like, you know. Some of the seeds are on top, but this is what we're looking for. This stuff retains moisture and keeps that soil temperatures down. And in this sandy soil, it's just critical to have that. So I'm gonna keep going. Old Max is getting dirty. Time for the corn. Okay, let's wrap up this food plot planting day video. Hope you enjoyed it. Things went well today. Rain held off. It's supposed to come in tonight, so perfect. We got all the different seeds in the ground, and so we'll do this again in September, August time frame and do our fall plots. But this is, you know, two parts. You got cover crop that basically covers the ground and, you know, try to build soil, give the deer a little food, and then you have stuff that's going to carry over into hunting season. So for example, the beans that are fenced and the corn that we planted today, that'll be part of the hunting game plan as well. So great day at the land. I'm pretty pooped. It's about 95 degrees and I really wish I had a cab on that tractor, but anyway, I don't. So thanks for being with us today. Hit that like button, subscribe, send to your friends. Thanks for being with us, and remember, guys, keep it in the timber. Bye-bye.